Hello and welcome back to our video series on situational awareness. Once more, my name is John Krajewski, and today I'm going to revisit a previous video where we talked about actionable alarming. We are continually evolving the best practices on how to achieve situational awareness within your processes. And so what we're going to look at today is some of the improvements that we've driven towards alarming. When you look at the best practices around alarming, one of the key focuses is to minimize or eliminate those active or standing alarms. So I'm continuing to use the demo that I've been showing throughout many of these videos, and you can see here, actually, I have no alarms. The best way to see that is that there's really not a lot of color that's drawing attention. And if you look down here in the navigation area, there's no standing color or alarm borders. And this is the way you should normally be practicing. So one of the things that we have also heard is that while many people would like to use audible alarms, that because they've had so many standing alarms inside their system, they don't use audible alarming because there would just be constant noise as a result of those standing or nuisance alarms. So what I've done is add to this particular demonstration the ability to go ahead and generate alarms and alarms associated with those severities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I've got a button down here in the system bar that allows me to toggle the alarm sounds on or off. Not that you would normally do this in a typical system. I've done it here to facilitate the ability to demonstrate that or not, depending on the situation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a low alarm here. And you should start to hear a kind of a lower toned, slow, audible information. This is intended just to say, hey, there's something going on, no reason to panic. As you'll note, as I start introducing alarms of higher severity, so now I've moved up to medium, the pitch of the alarm is increased as well as the pace of the alarm has increased. And as I move up to high, you'll notice that the pitch and pace move up again. And as I move up to critical, you'll see that the pitch and pace again once again move up. Now the sounds that I'm using here, I'm using the ones that come straight from the Windows operating system. I did that mostly so that it would facilitate taking this demo and running it wherever you wanted to. So you could swap out these alarm sounds. The way that I've done these alarm sounds is actually in the system bar definition itself. I have gone through and added just a script that basically says here, here's an example of how I do the critical. In this script, it determines that there is on the water plant area for this demo is the most urgent severity a 1. Is it not shelved? Is it not acknowledged? And has it been enabled? If all those turn out to be true, then every 750 milliseconds, play this sound, which is on the Windows Media Windows error. And so all the sounds that I'm playing here, you'll see that the high, turns out to be a little bit slower in pace. It's playing a different Windows sound. And the low is a different Windows sound again slower pace, and the medium it falls in between medium and low. It falls in between low and high. So let me go ahead and cancel out of changing this and go back. For the purpose of making this demo easy to show, if you double click on this button that says all automatic, all the alarms will go away. So those alarms that I just clicked out and created, they'll go away, they'll become acknowledged and get me back to a safe demo state. But what I was showing you there is how you can use sounds as part of the system when you achieve the proper state for alarming. So what now I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a mechanism we add so that what if you have an alarm, but you don't really need to address it right now? How can you handle that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on filter 100, I'm going to create a medium alarm. And I'm going to go through a scenario that says, well, I know that there's a medium alarm, but right now I don't want to address it. I'm going to come back to it later. So what I want to do is something we call shelve. So I'm going to go to the filter 100 window here, and I'm going to see that here is my severity 3 alarm, my medium alarm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose to shelve the selected alarm. I'm going to be asked to determine how long do I want to shelve it for and provide a reason. And I'll just say that, I don't know, that it's a broken transmitter. And then say OK. So upon shelving the alarm, you'll notice that the audible alarming has ceased because it's no longer because the alarm is shelved. You can see that down in the control here. It does show me that now I have a tab here to go find my shelved alarms. Here is my shelved alarm. So if I want to come back to this later, you can note that this is the way that you come back and find it later. If I select my shelved alarm, I can find out how much longer it's shelved for. So this is currently shelved for another 59 minutes and 30 seconds. I can find the original reason that it was shelved right here. And I can unshelve it here. So if I want to say, if I'm ready to handle this and I want to bring it off the shelved list, I can then unshelve the selected alarm and ready to handle and say OK. So now it goes back to my active alarm. My audible alarming is coming back again. So if I acknowledge that alarm, my audible alarming will stop, and I can actually clear the alarm state. In this case, I can do it just by clicking this medium, and I'm back to the normal condition. So you can think of the shelving as kind of like the snooze button for that alarm, if you will, and I'll come back to it later. So now I'm going to move on to another mechanism which we refer to as state-based suppression. So I'm going to go back to my filter overview, and I'm going to create a situation where I'm going to take one of my units out of service. And let's say that when I take my units out of service, it will commonly create alarms. So what I do is I've taken this unit out of service, and as I create it, I'm going to go ahead and create all of these alarms on that unit. You'll notice that now it's not doing the audible alarming, because when I took it out of service, all of the alarms in that area were immediately suppressed, or they were addressed as they were stated to. So in this particular case, because I'm out of service, if I come over to my IDE and go to my Galaxy configure, and I'm looking for alarm and event configuration here, you can see the alarm plant state, and because my current plant state is in shutdown, I have disabled those alarms. If I change my state to startup, I can silence the alarms, or running, I can enable alarms. But I've got a script that when I shut down or took that unit out of service, it went to the plant state attribute for that area and set it to shutdown, and that automatically disabled all of the alarms in that area. So that is why you have those alarm borders. So if I come back here to the runtime graphic, these alarm borders are indicating that these alarms have been disabled. And if I return that unit to service, place it back in service, you will now see that, and I've got it set it that it will stay in that state until it goes above this alarm limit. Now I've returned it back to service, and my alarms are active again. So in this video, let me clear these alarms here so we can get that noise out of the way. We've talked about some of the key concepts of how you can use alarm sounds, and there's not much new there. You could have done that in previous versions of the product. Alarm shelving, there was a lot of enhancements done to the 2014 R2 version of the product to make alarm shelving capable. And state-based suppression, there were also many advances in the product in 2014 R2 to make state-based suppression. Again, this is some of the advancements that we've made in our attempts to make the best practices for achieving situational awareness, in this particular case, the actionable alarming portion of situational awareness, easier for you to implement and achieve in your production systems. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. You feel free to leave comments down in the comments section. I'll also post down in the comments section a link to download this demo if you want. And as always, please subscribe so that you can find out more about new videos in this series. Thank you.